the 9th episode of WrenchWay Weekly, where we talk about the industry's hot topics, highlight the voice of technicians, and educate shops and dealerships to help improve the industry. This has been really fun to watch us grow this WrenchWay Weekly segment and really be able to use a lot of the content and a lot of the feedback that we get from our insiders to really make an impact. And we're already seeing that impact come in by some of the feedback we're getting from shops and some of the proactive things that they're doing to help change their cultures. And I think it's really, really exciting to see. As you can see, it's a little bit different this week in that I'm not in the podcast studio and I'm really not dressed for a normal WrenchWay Weekly. I'm actually on my way to Jacksonville, Florida tomorrow morning to really kind of go talk to some people and see some of our nice customers. So first time traveling since all of this COVID stuff happened, so I'm excited about it. So on to the topic for this week, which was a really conversation enhancing kind of topic, right? We actually had a comment on the LinkedIn post that they thought it was kind of odd that we asked this and asked that we were, thought maybe we were selling information or something, but that's not the case at all. We're really, really just trying to generate good conversation around these topics. So this week's topic is, if a tech is a big producer, do you think that affects his or her ability or chance of getting a promotion? And so really what we're trying to identify is that, is there a perception that maybe somebody that's a big producer in the shop is being held back because they're a great producer? So the feedback was phenomenal on this. It was our biggest response yet. We kind of see that week after week, but with this one, you could see some definite passion behind the answers and a lot of good feedback. As far as the actual stats behind our insider survey, about 42% said that they were more likely to get a promotion based on good performance, being a big producer in the shop. 35% said, yes, it does impact them, but in a negative way, that they won't get a promotion because it's hard to replace them in the shop. And then the final 23% said, no, it doesn't really make a difference. It's dependent on the person, right? And how their skill set might transfer into the office. So my initial analysis of the data that we got was, one, this was the closest that we've had in terms of vote. So we had 43, 35, and 23%. And so kind of an even vote, with most of them saying that they were more likely to get a promotion. And I think one of the interesting parts about the way that we asked the question was, it didn't define what a promotion was, right? And I think that really generated some really, really good responses. And we had heard that. I mean, there was some level of, yes, more likely, meaning that they're being promoted into a foreman type role, or that they're being promoted into a diagnostic type role. And one thing that I found surprising was that a lot of the managers that responded said that there was a lot of their technicians that had no interest in becoming a tech, into becoming promoted into the office. They really, really liked where they were at, and they would make less of a paycheck by going into the office. So that was interesting. What I did think was very interesting was, of the 35% of respondents that answered yes, less likely to get a promotion, the majority of those people answering were technicians, right? So whereas on the management side, the yes, more likely answer was primarily managers, the yes, less likely was all technicians, or not all technicians, but mostly technicians. So I thought that was really interesting. Here's my take on it. I think it really comes down to the individual, and if that individual has the skill set to be able to transfer into an office. I've done blogs in the past where I talk about the Wayne Gretzky effect, which is sometimes the greatest technicians in the world make awful managers. And it's just because they're so used to being a natural thing for them to be great that it's hard for them to be able to explain to somebody else how to be great, right? And then you take the customer side into play. There's a whole bunch of different factors. But for me, it is really, really dependent on the individual themselves. Now, one thing that I think management needs to do a better job at is that if somebody's skill set just simply doesn't align with a promotion to the front, even though they think it does, you need to sit down and have a candid conversation with them. You need to be able to explain to them, listen, this might not be in your best interest, because if you go into that position, you're going to be miserable because it doesn't fit what you do well. And so if that's the case and they get frustrated by that, they could leave, and you don't want that either. So having that conversation of what future potential do they have based on their skill set is a big, big deal. So talking with them, having that individual relationship is such a big deal. And then if you're a tech and you're on that side of it and you think you deserve a promotion, you do need to be honest with yourself and think about the actual position itself. Do you mind calling customers for money? Do you mind giving estimates and having difficult conversations constantly? Or do you like to just sit in your bay and get your piece fixed? So there are so many variables to this, and I think that was why this question was good, was because it was vague. It generated a lot of thought and a lot of discussion that we saw. And ultimately, it really is down to the individual and the communication and the relationship we have with that individual as managers, right? So knowing them on a personal basis, and then having the decency to give them a candid answer when they come into your office and say, hey, listen, I think I deserve a promotion. Okay, what's a promotion look like to you? Well, I want to get into the office. Okay, you want to do that. You think you want to do that, but here's what the position really is. Here's what your skill set is. There's something that doesn't mesh there. So I think, again, for me, it's really having that personal conversation, and really the better you can give that feedback and relay that feedback to a tech from a manager, really, I think, gain some respect. It really helps them understand what their weaknesses are. And then maybe it helps get them on a path to gain those strengths, or make those weaknesses into strengths so that they can eventually move into the office. But just a good, candid conversation, I think, is at the core of this, and really understanding that one size isn't fit all, right? There could be somebody that's an outstanding tech that's an outstanding manager. There could be somebody that's an outstanding manager that was a terrible tech, or vice versa, a great tech but a terrible manager. So a lot of things at play. Thank you so much to everybody who provided feedback. The answers just keep coming. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's fun to see. It's fun to see the responses, a lot of which I didn't consider, and I'm learning as we go on that side. But it does really allow us to really turn some of the answers into good content and good educational content for our WrenchWay Insiders and our clients. For this week, and for those of you that have watched other episodes of WrenchWay Weekly, know that we give away a weekly prize to our WrenchWay Insiders group. And this week's prize is a Snap-on Tools hooded sweatshirt. And I think just this time of year, it's good to get bundled up, and this Snap-on Tools hooded sweatshirt will be good for you. And our WrenchWay Insider winner for this week is Kyle Walterscheid. Kyle Walterscheid, congratulations on the Snap-on Tools hooded sweatshirt. We'll reach out to you, get that all set up, and get that out to you. For next week, we're kind of sticking with the theme as we turn into more of a fallish type feeling up here in the Midwest, and I think anybody can use a nice sweatshirt here or there. But next week's prize is a $50 gift card to Carhartt. So if you want to stock up on Carhartt goods for the winter, it's a good time to do that. If you'd like to enter to win, again, you need to become a WrenchWay Insider. You can do that by going to wrenchway.com/WrenchWay-Insiders. You can go to wrenchway.com, go to the resources tab as well. Really easily sign up there. And if you follow WrenchWay on LinkedIn or Facebook, we'll throw a link out to this week's survey there as well, right after this video is done. So fill out the responses, and do it candidly. It's an anonymous survey that we really want good, candid information and feedback on, because we can really use this to hopefully change the industry and help change the industry. Next week's topic is another one that I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can get for feedback with, and that is, should shops allow technicians to do side work? We actually did a small video about this a few months back, and again, it drove a lot of thoughtful response, and we thought this would be a good setting to do this as we've gotten more formalized with WrenchWay Insiders. So we'd love to hear your feedback on this topic, and we'll be sending that email out to our WrenchWay Insiders after this video is out. It'll have a link to the survey, really easy to sign up. And if you want to become a WrenchWay Insider, you just have to click a little button on there and you'll be signed up as a WrenchWay Insider. And we'll be putting it all over the place. So we'll have links to the WrenchWay survey through all of our social media channels and throughout WrenchWay in general. So also, last one, big favor to ask is if you can go out to YouTube, look us up, WrenchWay, and click on that subscribe button. We would really, really appreciate it. It warns you, I shouldn't warn you, it tells you when a new WrenchWay Weekly is out and allows you to stay on top of it, allows you to remind yourself that you need to sign up for WrenchWay Insider so you can win a prize. And so hopefully we're doing some good things here to help drive some conversation. So thanks again to all of our WrenchWay Insiders. You guys are amazing. I really, really enjoyed hearing your feedback and look forward to next week. Have a great day.